break, I went on vacation to Copenhagen, Denmark, and it was a wonderful experience. I'm really glad that I went. Before I left, people asked me when I told them that I was going to Copenhagen. They said, "Why? Why there? Are you crazy? You're going there in the winter? Isn't it always dark there and cold and snowy?" And really, my main reason for going was I have been wanting to go for a really long time, and the stars sort of aligned, and I was able to find a very cheap flight and a very cheap hotel to stay there for about 5 days. And I knew that going right after Christmas during the winter was maybe not the best time to go, but I figured, you know what, why not? It's cheap. I've always wanted to go. Well, I've been wanting to go for quite some time. So I just did it. Booked a flight, booked my hotel, left the day after Christmas on December 26th. It was an evening flight. It's about 8 hours from Chicago to Copenhagen nonstop. It was an overnight flight. I got really lucky because I was sitting on the plane on an aisle seat, and there was nobody sitting next to me at all. So I was able to stretch out. I had a hard time. I tried to sleep. I didn't really get a chance to sleep. I watched some movies. But before I knew it, after 8 hours on the airplane, we landed, and it was the middle of the day over there in Copenhagen. I got off the plane, grabbed my bags, and sort of just set out on my way. I had to find the train and get on the train, and mind you, I don't speak a lick of Danish. I don't know. I never learned. Danish is closely related to Swedish and Norwegian, but I don't know either of those languages either. But luckily for me, and one of the points of my deciding to go there was they do speak English. There's an English presence. Children are taught from a very young age in school English along with Danish. So I tried. I had my travel guide with some basic phrases, but I learned pretty quickly that when I tried to speak Danish, it was more confusing than just using English and, figuring it out. Anyway, so the first day I got there, the first day that I was there, I went to my hotel, which was this cute little hotel. Each room was painted by a different artist, muralist. Very, very cool, very youth-oriented, which was nice. At first I was a little concerned that it was going to be crazy with a lot of young, freshly 21-year-olds or crazy young kids who wanted to party, but it was really quiet, which was really nice. I'm trying to think, what did I do the first day? So the first day I just, got to the hotel, dropped off my stuff, and just sort of set out walking around. It was actually, the weather was pretty nice outside, comparable to Chicago, and really, it was overcast. That's something that I noticed for the whole time that I was there. A lot of the time, it was cloudy, but that's okay. I didn't mind it. It's better to be cloudy than rainy or snowy. I set out and was just sort of walking around, getting a feel for the area, and I went to the Danish Design Center, which I beforehand was really excited about going to see, because I really love design. I love Danish design, specifically this sort of sleek, minimalist aesthetic of fine line, like very, very crisp, clean lines and stuff like that. So I thought, oh, what better place to go than the Danish Design Center? And when I got there, I was actually kind of disappointed. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting it to be. I don't know. It also could have just been because I was jet lagged, that I wasn't really enjoying it that much. But that's okay. After I went to the Danish Design Center, I sort of, again, made my way around. The streets in the city are very windy. do not have a grid system like in Chicago. Everything, you can be on the same street and it winds and curves around and the name changes a lot. It actually reminded me a lot of when I lived in Boston, Massachusetts, another very old city with streets that are just they're shaped more like a fingerprint than a grid, very, very curvy. The first night that I was in Copenhagen, I went to, there's an amusement park called the Tivoli, and during the warmer months there, it actually operates as an amusement park with roller coasters and different rides and family attractions, sort of similar to what we have in America, like Cedar Point or Six Flags. It's a little bit less commercial, and I don't think that during the winter months, I can't remember now if the rides were actually in operation, but what they do for the holiday season, for the Christmas season, is they decorate everything with Christmas lights, and it is so beautiful. It is so, so pretty to just be able to go, especially at night. It's more prominent, the lights are more prominent and just so beautiful. So I did that. I went and I walked around, and at about 8:30 at night, the Tivoli security started sort of becoming more present and sort of ushering people to walk in a certain direction. And what I didn't know before going there was that every night in between Christmas and New Year's at about 8:45 every night for that week, they have a fireworks show at the Tivoli. So that was really, really unexpected, and I love fireworks, so that was really cool. There were just so many people there, all different ages, and from what I could hear, from what I could tell, it seemed like there were a lot of different people speaking a lot of different languages, which I thought was neat. So that was my first night, and then for the next few days, it's all sort of a blur now because it's, a month later, and I'm back. I've been back in my normal routine here. I'm trying to think of some of the standout points. Really, one of the things that I've been telling people since I've been back, one of the things that's made the biggest impression on me was just how civil everyone over there was. Everyone that I encountered, especially people who were natives to Copenhagen or natives to Denmark, very polite. There was never an instance where I felt somebody was being rude to me. There were a couple of times where, because of communication issue, language differences, it took a little bit more effort to have an effective communication, but I never felt like I was being, I had somebody being rude to me, which is really nice, a really nice feeling. And unfortunately, when I flew back to America, I had a stopover in Toronto, Canada, and I had to go through customs, U.S. customs in Canada, which I had no idea what that was like. I'd never done that before, and it sort of just hit me right in the face, a cold, harsh reminder that things are different over here in North America. People aren't always as friendly. People are not as willing to be civil and just sort of leave their attitude at home, which I guess it sort of made sense and was a welcome back sort of moment when I came back. So I learned that I don't want to ever have a stopover in Toronto ever again or go through customs there. It was kind of a crazy experience. Copenhagen is an awesome city. That's bottom line. I cannot wait to go back. Cannot wait to go back during the summer months when it's warm and there are more than 7 hours of daylight. That was a problem that I had. The sun didn't come up until 8:30 in the morning, and then it started to set at 3:30 in the afternoon. So hopefully if I go back, or when I go back, I'll be able to go in the summer when the days are much longer and can stay out and do more stuff during the day. Yeah, so that's it. That was a very, very short, abbreviated version of my trip to Copenhagen. Thanks a lot.